All right.
So I'm here tonight teaching the class on how to start a nonprofit and how to fund it. Surprisingly, only one person shows up, but the person that did showed up has a story to tell. So then you begin to understand why I do what I do related to nonprofits, because nonprofits actually do the work of making changes in our society. So, man, take the floor, tell them the name of your nonprofit, why you got started, and all the good things that's going on so far, including the magazine deal.
Okay. All right. You got it. So my name is Nanette Prevost, and I started a nonprofit just this year as of 2021 in February. They actually mailed me my letter though, not until June, so it really kind of delayed things. But I started the nonprofit because I am a living experience to suicide. I lost my husband 8 years ago to suicide. He was also a veteran, and we both worked together. We were married 16 years. We worked in the operating room together. So I'm a surgery nurse 35 years, and he was a PA. And so we were a team in the operating room for 16 years. Well, he had some setbacks and things that I wasn't recognizing with his mental health. And it's the stigma and the lack of education that really frustrated with me after he had passed away. Some signs and symptoms that I was really upset that I didn't recognize. And so after his death, I started walking with a group here in Florida. It was the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention, called Out of the Darkness. And that's where I found my healing. And it was about talking, just being with other people. You realize that you're not alone. You go to these walks and there's about 1,500 people there. And that was really my therapy and my healing. But as I started walking over time, I would listen to the survivors, and they all had said the same thing. They felt like they weren't educated and they didn't know what to do at the time. And so they wanted to be with people more than just once a year. And so I took the feedback and started interviewing people, and I ended up creating my own nonprofit. And so my nonprofit, what I do is I create I'm all about suicide prevention with mentorship. So I educate you. Now in my nonprofit, you come in and you take a certification where it's just like a CPR card, and it's good for 3 years. And it's put out by the Mental Health First Aid Association. You're a mental health first aider, so you got to really, teach the family. And
Now you stated you're in an upcoming magazine.
Yeah. So with all this during COVID, I'm a nurse, and when everything was shut down, I saw the mental strain is in first responders. And so I started taking our first responders out, the surgeons and all the nurses out paddleboarding on the water, so we could get out for mental health and just kind of reflect. And so that's what got me started into the nonprofit, because I realized I was really helping people. And so now with this, it's called Paddle for Suicide Prevention with Mentorship. So I literally take your first responders and healthcare professionals, counselors in mental health, and I take them out of the office onto the water, and I use nature. There's no reason why you need to be in the office to talk to somebody, and it's good for their mental health and yours. So that's what I focus on. And so I wrote into the nursing magazine during COVID. This was 2 years ago, and the magazine just published it now last Tuesday. And so it was been 2 whole years when they called.
Now, I want you to hold on to that thought, because people are coming into class.
Yeah.
But hold
Okay.
on to that thought, because I'm gonna stop this recording right here
Okay.
and go ahead and start our class. But I got enough. Well, quickly tell the world where can someone email you for donations, or how can someone get money in your hand?
Okay, so I have a webpage, Remember Me NFP, but my domain to find me is www.programsforsuicideprevention.com. And I have a donation page. You can donate right through my webpage. I have a donation page. Yes, and my email. Yep, my email is nanprevost@gmail.com.
God is so good. There was enough time for us to get this in before someone came into class. So let me just welcome the person that just came into class. You just walked in on Okay, go ahead and continue. Now, I know someone has just come in. If you just hold on 1 second, Gwendolyn. Thank you for coming to class today. We just finishing up on a presentation on an individual that's talking about her story, and then we're going to get started with the class. So continue on with your story.
So last week, the nursing.com, I made that cover story, and then just yesterday I made another cover of a magazine here locally now. And it's it's called Indian Rocks Beach Neighborhood, and it's going to be going to all the CVS's. So it talks about my nonprofit and what I'm doing. And I also had the Christopher Reeve Foundation, Dana and Christopher Reeve, the Superman. They had contacted me with my nonprofit, and they want to help me out with funding now and building a state-of-the-art water therapy for paraplegics on paddle boards and in kayaks now.
Okay, so you came to the right class. Now
Yeah,
you want to know, how do I get the money?
yeah. How do
People
I actually write this up? Because I'm
Definitely. So we're gonna get started. Someone has just come in, and we're gonna go ahead and jump into class. The nice class is a 2-part class. Part 1 talks about how do you start a nonprofit, and part 2 is going to talk about how do you fund it. Not only in terms of funding it, but how do you actually operate a nonprofit. So that being said, let's get started.